Hey there, it's your friend Pastor David. I'm doing a video on thought sequencing. Thought sequencing. Do you know you have to sequence your thought? You have to program your thoughts to a frequency, else you are going to move in the direction you never expected yourself to be. You are going to move in a strange direction. Number one thing you need to know about your thought is that your thought is not independent of influence. Your thought pattern, your imagination, the visions of your head is not independent of influence. That's the first thing you need to know. There are thoughts and imagination, visions of your head that you have that are not your own. You pick them up. And number one place you pick your thought from is from a realm. You pick your thought from a realm, from the spiritual body. Number two is that you pick your thoughts up from physical bodies, the vibrations of people around you. The vibrations of people, the emotions of people, the body language of people around you also can sequence your thoughts. In that you find someone who is unhappy around you, and before you know it, you become unhappy yourself. It may not be in the same minute, it may not be in the same hour, but you can pick it up, and in a few hours or even in a day, you begin to ask yourself questions. Why are you sad? It's because your thoughts has picked up certain signals, certain vibrations from bodies around you. Take note of the first one, from the realms, the spiritual realms. You pick your thoughts. So there are things you begin to feel. You feel like but you don't understand why you're having this feeling. Sometimes you just feel anxiety. You have to fight it. You have to do a lot of things to shrug it off. Number two, and sometimes you feel fear. You're picking up signals from realms. So you have to sequence your thoughts. Why? Because you are actually moving in the direction of your thoughts. Your life is moving in the direction of your thought. There is no thought, no imagination that does not want a physical expression. That is why you have to be careful. There is no thought, no imagination that does not want a physical expression. Everything around your life was battered through a thought, either conscious or unconscious. That is why you need to sequence your thought. You need to program yourself. You need to know exactly what is dominating you. You need to be intentional about what dominates your day, what dominates your hour, what dominates your mindset. You will arrive where your thought has arrived. You can't be in a place unintentionally without your thought supporting you to that destination. Thought sequencing. The people you meet, the things you hear, they matter. The people you meet, the things you hear, they matter. Look at the shape of your ear. The shape of your ear is like your heart. Whatever you hear will affect your heart. Your heart is where your thoughts take place. Your heart is where your thoughts takes place. It is not possible for you to hear something, pay attention to something, and it will not affect your thoughts. That's why the Bible says in Philippians 4:8, it said, whatsoever is true, whatsoever is pure, whatsoever is of good report, whatsoever is of good value, it said, think on these things. So if you must cause a change, you must pick the things you want to think of. If you think on good things, if you think on things that are of good report, they are not necessarily what will happen to you, But what will be seconded by a spirit will be good. If you have a bad thought, maybe you have a bad thought of a child, or let's take for example, you have a bad thought of an accident, and you feel like you are picking up a signal from a realm or from something, and this bad thought persists. The accident may not happen. It may not happen, but something else will be seconded in the spirit, which will be accidental.